What's up? Inflatable Guy 05 here. Today we have one of the final classic Halloween inflatable reviews for the display this year. And this is the 2009 9-foot tall cemetery archway. Now this is not the light show version, obviously. This is the small one. And this one's pretty cool. I actually really like this one. This was sold at Garden Ridge for $80, which is kind of hefty for what it is. It's got a nice box shape. I'm happy I have the box for it. The giant Airblown Inflatables logo. This is one of my favorite box arts they've done for Halloween. I just like the green. And in the back you see 2009 Gemmy Industries Corp. And the copyright and stuff on it. I picked this up on Facebook Marketplace. I know, right? Facebook Marketplace. And the person was nice enough to ship it as well. I paid, I think, he originally wanted $40 for it, but I got it for $30. Because I just talked him down to it. He's like, if you buy it right now, I'll give it to you for $30. And I said, okay. Now, this thing is in pretty great shape for the most part. This was actually only an hour and a half away from me, so it was still in Florida. And I saw the pictures inflated. I'm like, there's no way that's still standing 10 years later. And he told me the backstory about it. He's like, it was barely used. It was used for 2 seasons. Kept in the garage for 2 years and then put in an air-conditioned storage unit. So I'm like, okay, that kind of checks out on why it's in good shape. Now, it's all good. I have it laid out here. Everything is good on it besides the black. The black is thinning, sadly. But that is like that with all of them. If you remember, Chase got one last year. And the black was thinning on his. I don't think... Because if they use this for long, then the gray would also be thin. So my friend thought, we came up with an idea, I think the light bulbs that the black is on, the Reaper that's thin, and only the bottom of the lantern in the middle, which I'll show in a minute when I inflate it. I don't know why they're thin. We think because the light bulb is just too close to them. It's in a small area, and they get hot, so it heats up the fabric, and the fabric does get heated. It turns hot. So I think the light bulbs just melted itself and melted the fabric on it. And they're more fleshed out on the archway itself than on these guys. They're kind of skinny. So I think it wore out the surrounding fabric, which was the black, sadly. Now, it does still inflate very tight nonetheless. The Reaper doesn't inflate that tight, but the rest of it does. So I had to have it for $30. I'm like, $30? Because it looked good, but I'm like, this is from Florida. I'm kind of sketchy. But $30, even if it was completely shot, that would have been good for a fan. Because I do need some extra fans for stuff oh, that came unplugged. For stuff I turn from cheap fan to base fan sometimes. I don't ever have extra fans around me because I don't have stuff that's thin. Usually. And I don't buy stuff that's thin for the most part. I took it out here on the side of my house because I'm going to prop it up against the wall because they're pretty skinny, these archways. They don't stand on their own. That's like that with all archways. They're just skinny. They don't stand on their own. And I don't want to stake it down because right after this review, it's going directly into the yard. Which is why also the review is in the back of the house. I'm going to give it a second to inflate. And now we're going to stand it up. Hopefully it stands on its own. When I push it up. Oh, there we go. I think I got it. Alright, come on. I'll push it under my house. There you go. I have it pushed under my house, so now it stands. Fix the Reaper a little. Just a little. Oh, his hand is twisted. That's not good. What the hell happened to his hand? Oh, his whole hand is behind his back. Never mind. What the fuck? Come on. Okay. There we go. Jesus Christ, that was annoying. But as you see, it is standing up the way it should. I just have it pressed under my house because, again, it doesn't stand on its own. It's too skinny. And I don't feel like staking it down because, like I said, right after the review, it's going outside. But there she is. Somehow, Florida survived about 2009, about a decade more later, a decade and a half. Wow. That's really interesting. It's a really great design. Like I said, I saw that Garden Ridge, which turned out at home. Very nice detailing. As you see, like I said, the reason why I bought it, that is very tight inflation. I cannot push in on that. That is extremely tight. Very tight on the archway itself. Everywhere, all over the archway is tight. Even this is tight. It's such a small piece, but it is sadly worn under it. Hopefully I can show where it's worn. You can't see it there. You can probably see it kind of right there. Worn doesn't show up great on camera. You can probably see the cloudiness there. And then, yeah, there you go. You can see it there now. Yeah, sadly, worn doesn't show up great on camera. I don't know why. So let's go over the details. We'll start from the bottom and make our way up. So the fan's on the left side, which I think is kind of weird. I would have thought it would have been on the left. So it's kind of a problem, and there's love bugs. If you don't know, in Florida we get love bugs that are attacking this thing because now it's cold out. It's cooler out, not cold like it is in November and December, so love bugs are here. So we start from the bottom. There's cracks all over this thing and brick and all this detail. And just like on Chases, and I've seen on other ones, it's very common. The white screen printing is kind of chipping a little bit. Not too bad, not that noticeable. It's worse on that side than on this side. Still very tight there. Then we move up the columns. There's some more printed cracking. And then this amazing cemetery logo. I think I like it more than the Light Show Archway, the logo on it. It just looks more jagged and pointy and sharp. And then you got, this is one of my favorite features. I like this. It looks like a gate. It's pulled very tightly. Tell it's good. And then you have the lantern. I love the look of this lantern. And I can already feel the fabric. It is getting hot. I can feel it. I love how they have like the X's on it to make it look like an actual lantern. Like I said, I showed you the thin spots on the bottom. It's not on the top. I checked the top. But I will be changing. I hope I have one still. A blinking C7. I'm going to put in the lantern. I've always wanted to do that. I just haven't done it yet. And then we go to the Reaper, which sadly this thing is pretty much shot. And as you see here, inflation-wise, not that tight as I would like it to be. I can squeeze on him. It's just enough to get him up. Any more than that, I think he would be screwed. Hopefully I can show a spot on him. It's honestly all over him. Because yeah, I can already feel the fabric is already hot. Yeah, you can see like right there, it's kind of worn. So this thing gets worse. I want to keep the Archway. I'll just cut off the Reaper and sew some new gray fabric over it. I have a friend that knows a lot about sewing and stuff like that. Yeah, it's on his rib cage. It's kind of how Chase's was. I remember seeing a video, I'm like, and I looked at the listing, I'm like, doesn't mine and his look the same? I'm like, well, yeah, it does. His was worse than mine. Somehow, all of his, I think, was thin. He had to put another fan on it, so it's kind of sad. I do really love this design. It's pretty cool. Because of that, the sickle isn't thin. It just doesn't inflate as good. Why is there love bugs everywhere? You see these little bastards, right? I hate these damn things. They just start touching you, and I don't like it. They're weird. But yeah, it's even like all the way up here. It's all worn. Even, I think the worst part is probably his body, because that's where the light is located. But thankfully, he does get up to the most part. So he does still look decent. But I just want to do a short review, get this out of the way. I think it's really cool. I was not expecting to get this at all. This is not something I was on my, like, I have to get this list. This was one of the, like an impulse buy. It was very cheap. I figured I'd get it. It looked good, and it is good, thankfully. The gray is not thin. So like I said, if it gets worse, I will be cutting the Reaper off at the end of the year. But this will definitely be one I'm keeping. I really like this one. This one's really nice. Apparently this one is pretty rare, my friend told me. I haven't seen it come up often. I saw it once this year, maybe twice. One of them was thin, one was new in box. So this one is definitely on the rarer side. I don't see it often. I'm pretty happy with it. It stands up to the most I need it. I think it will definitely last me a couple seasons if the black doesn't get worse. But yeah, it looks good. It is usable. It looks nice. You look on the back. We're going to go over tethers real quick before I end the video. It still has in 2009 the D-rings. I think the D-rings stopped in 2010. Thankfully, there's one on each side and not one on the front and one on the back. That'd be kind of hard. The way I'm going to have it displayed, to put it like that. So there's one there and one there. There is tethers at the bottom of this. There is actually 4. Is it 4? Let me just flip it upside down for a second. No, there's one on each side. One there, and not like down the other side because the base fan is there. You can just stake down the base fan. So that's all the tethers. The back, there's no detail on it, which is why I have it up against the wall and not staked, because there's no detail on the back. So no reason to even show it. It's just all gray and then the black and stuff. So yeah, guys, I think this is it. This is one of the final videos for the classic display. I believe there is 2 or 3 left. I will see you guys in the next one, which will be out in a couple days before I put it in the yard. Hope you guys enjoy it. Bye.